Greetings, everyone. Well, for today's review, there's a set that's been sitting on my shelf for a number of months now, and I've been kind of meaning to do an in-depth review of it for a while. I just haven't gotten around to it. I keep putting it off, and I wanted to watch all the content on it first, and I figured it's time to stop dilly-dallying and just get it done already. I am, of course, talking about... no, that's not it. No, that's not it either. Where the heck did I put it? Aha! Planet of the Apes, the 40-Year Evolution Blu-ray collection. And that's what we're going to talk about today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Well, as some of you may recall from watching my old DVD collection overview from 2008, I used to have the Planet of the Apes Legacy collection on DVD, which was all 5 movies and the Behind the Planet of the Apes documentary. So when I heard about this Blu-ray collection, I was really curious. I mean, first off, I wanted to know, is all the content from the Legacy collection going to be on it? The short answer is yes. Everything from the Legacy collection is on this set, so you can safely get rid of your old set. The other thing was, of course, what's the quality like? What are the new features going to be like? Is it going to be worth upgrading? And, well, again, the short answer is yes. It is absolutely 100% worth upgrading. A couple of things that are notable on this is that you have alternate cuts of not one, but 2 of the movies. You've got the original theatrical version of the 4th one, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, and the unrated version, which to my knowledge has never been made available before, at least not very widely available. Maybe in some of the foreign country releases and such, but in North America I don't think it's ever been available, because I know I had never seen it before. Now, as far as what the difference is between the unrated and the theatrical version, basically the unrated version is a little more bloody, a little more violent, and I think actually a little more intense, actually a lot more intense than the theatrical version. And the theatrical version is pretty intense to begin with. So, and it has a different ending. It has a considerably different ending from what you see in the theatrical version. The theatrical version, let's just say, was kind of watered down, toned down, just a tad, with some post-production dialogue and such. Well, for the first time ever, for most of you probably, you can actually see the original ending before they tamed it down for the widespread theatrical release. So that's really cool. That's really cool that they include that. And they're both included on the same disc via seamless branching. So you can check out both of them at your leisure, which is very cool. And then the other one is the 5th one, the Battle for the Planet of the Apes, which actually has, again, both the original theatrical version and the extended version. I think the extended version has been available for a number of years, so this may be actually the first time in a while anyway, that the original theatrical version has been available. So I didn't really go in depth digging up information about the old DVD and VHS releases and such. I didn't really see much point because there isn't really that big a difference between them. The main thing was the special features and the alternate cuts. And to my knowledge, the alternate cuts, most of the previous releases have had one or the other, but never both. So this is the first time you can actually have both cuts of those 2 movies together in one handy-dandy package. So I can see you drooling a little bit, wanting to know what all is in this cool-looking set. So let's just dive right in and take a look at the innards, shall we? Let's do a little zoom out here so you can get a better look at the cover. You may notice a little bit of rippling on the cover there. Yeah, my copy isn't quite mint, but whatever. One thing that was cool is, one of the reasons I waited a while to get this is because of the price. It normally goes for about 120 bucks. I got it on sale for 60, and I've heard of some people getting it on sale for even less. So if you find this puppy on sale and you're a fan of the franchise, yeah, we'll do the behind the music stand view for this one. If you're a fan of the franchise, you definitely owe it to yourself to pick this up. So first thing you'll notice, of course, is that it's actually a book. So what we do is we slide it out of the case like that. You see the famous phrase, "Ape shall never kill ape." So this is basically a very sturdy cardboard case. Nice with the outer image layer wrapped around, so you don't get anything catching when you're sliding the book in and out, which is quite nice. And this is actually raised. You can probably see a little bit. You get a little bit of texture there. It's kind of subtle, and mine unfortunately has some rippling there. I don't know if that's typical or what, but I'm not too big of a stickler for stuff like that. The main thing for me is the content. I like to have the cases in nice shape, obviously, if I can, but if it's a difference of $60 in the price, I think I can take a little bit of rippling. So here we go. If we move this over here, angle it a little bit so we don't get so much glare. You open this up like this, and here you can get the actual timeline of events. Because if you know anything about the series, it actually follows two timelines. There's the original timeline, and then because of events that occur in that timeline, involving time travel, we'll say, without giving too much away if you haven't seen it, an alternate timeline is created and an alternate history, which is very similar to the original history, but slight alterations that make it a different and unique timeline. And the story essentially comes full circle, more or less, by the end of the 5-movie cycle. So it's pretty cool. So then if we open it up, you can't even see all of it. So, okay, there's the book here, which we'll get into in just a moment. So we'll start with this side here. If you open it up, you have the contents and bonus features for each disc. Every disc has bonus features. So here we have the first 3 movies. And then over on this side, we have the last 2 movies. Now, one thing that sets this apart from the previous Legacy Collection DVD release is the sheer volume of extras. All the extras from the previous editions, including the 35th anniversary edition of the first one, are included. And you can see there's quite a hearty list of them. It includes the Behind the Planet of the Apes documentary and a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe we'll do a quick rundown of the extras after. Now, the one complaint I have about the way this was done, let me just zoom in a bit here. Okay, we'll just zoom in on Dr. Zayas there. Now, if you take a look, if we take this off, they're numbered underneath, which is nice, but it's basically just a little rubber ring, like of soft rubber, and that's what the disc sits on. So the entire surface of the disc touches the cardboard. So that's my one complaint. I would have preferred if they'd done it as like a massive digipack or something. So you basically just kind of squish the disc onto that little thing in the center to put it back on. I mean, it's sturdy, you know, it's not going to come off, but it's just kind of, I don't know, it just struck me as kind of cheap that they went that route instead of using a proper hub. Okay, so then if we pull back again, take a look at the book here. Now, the way the book is mounted in the box, or in the case here, sorry, I angled slightly for the disc, is the back cover is actually in a paper sleeve inside. So that just slides right out, and it slides in and out of there quite easily. That's no problem at all. So let's just we'll just move the main thing out of the way here. We'll take a quick look at the book. So the book essentially gives you a that's not actually a rip. It's just made to look like cracks in the stonework. So if we take a look at the book here, just to give you a quick flip here, you have tons of gorgeous pictures, behind the scenes, original movie posters, promotional artwork, all kinds of stuff, coupled with essays and interviews and all kinds of just a wealth of information about the making of the movies. And this is wonderful, wonderful stuff. I mean, any fan of Planet of the Apes will just devour this book. I mean, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. how much information is in here. How big is this book anyway? 200 pages. So 200 pages, and quite gorgeous, nice hardcover book. So that alone will keep you busy for a while. And then on the back you got the some of the main ape characters in profile. So there you go. So I'll show you how this all goes back together. So it's a very nice set. As I say, the only complaint I have is the way the discs themselves are mounted. But in terms of just coolness factor, it's definitely you know, it's pretty classy. It's a pretty classy set. I mean, and I do give them some kudos points for not going the typical route and actually doing something a little bit unique for the packaging. So see, that just slides right in there, and we close that up and fold that over there, fold that in there, that in there, and then the whole thing slides nice and easily back into the case. And there you go. Not too shabby, eh? So yeah, if you're a fan of the series, I would definitely recommend this series, or this collection, because the picture quality is outstanding, and the extras are really meaty and worthwhile. So speaking of the extras, as I mentioned earlier, one of the things that this has that the Legacy set didn't is it actually has extras for all 5 movies. The previous one mostly just had extras for the first one, and I think it had a few things. It had the Behind the Planet of the Apes documentary, obviously, which covers all of them. But this one actually has a whole bunch of new extras. Each disc actually has an animated CG intro by the Lawgiver. The Lawgiver, of course, is a character that you'll know is referred to throughout the series, but you actually get to meet in the 5th movie, played by the wonderful John Huston, no less, famous actor and director. So obviously John Huston is no longer with us, so the voice of the Lawgiver is done by someone doing a very, very good impersonation of John Huston as the Lawgiver. So there's a whole bunch of archival features on here as well as new features, so I'll just give you a quick rundown. The first one, Planet of the Apes, we have a commentary by actors Roddy McDowall, Kim Hunter, and Natalie Trundy, and makeup artist John Chambers. Very nice. Always nice to hear from Roddy McDowall on these, who is sadly no longer with us. Commentary by composer Jerry Goldsmith, who also sadly is no longer with us. Text commentary by Eric Green, author of Planet of the Apes as American Myth. The Science of the Apes bonus view, Beyond the Forbidden Zone adventure game, a public service announcement from NASA. The Evolution of the Apes featurette, The Impact of the Apes featurette, Behind the Planet of the Apes documentary with interactive mode. The Archives of the Apes original makeup test with Edward G. Robinson from 1966. Roddy McDowall's on-set home movie footage. Dailies and Outtakes, NATO presentation from 1967, Vintage Planet of the Apes featurette, teaser trailer, original theatrical trailer, the Galleries of the Apes, the Ape newspaper, interactive press book, advertising, lobby cards, makeup, costume design, sketches, props, and behind the scenes. I should mention also, if you're one of those lucky 3 people who has a D-Box enabled home theater setup, the entire set is D-Box enabled. D-Box is basically where you can turn movies that are D-Box encoded into a ride film. So you can have your seat moving in time with, you know, key moments in the movie and so forth, and essentially turn an entire movie into a ride film. I'm really hoping they do Star Wars that way, because if I can ever afford a D-Box setup, how awesome would Star Wars be as, like, the whole Star Wars saga is like a 12.5-hour ride film. I mean, come on, that would be amazing. So continuing on here, beneath the Planet of the Apes, we have an isolated score track, From Alpha to Omega, Building a Sequel featurette, original theatrical trailer, the Ape News Gallery, interactive press book, advertising gallery, lobby card gallery, and behind the scenes gallery. So that's all new stuff right there, because the previous set had nothing for Beneath the Planet of the Apes. And ditto the other ones, actually. So Escape from the Planet of the Apes, which is the 3rd one, again has an isolated score track. The Secret Behind Escape featurette. Don Taylor directs Escape from the Planet of the Apes featurette. Original theatrical trailer, advertising gallery, and behind the scenes gallery. Conquest of the Planet of the Apes has unrated and theatrical versions, isolated score track on the unrated version only. Riots and Revolutions, Confronting the Times featurette, a look behind the Planet of the Apes featurette. That's not the same as the Behind the Planet of the Apes documentary, by the way. It's something else. It's a vintage featurette from 1972. J. Lee Thompson directs Conquest of the Planet of the Apes featurette. Original theatrical trailer, Future News Gallery, Interactive Press Book, Advertising Gallery, Library Card Gallery, and Behind the Scenes Gallery. And then finally, Battle for the Planet of the Apes. We have both the extended and theatrical versions. Isolated score track on the extended version only. End of an Epic, the final battle featurette. Original theatrical trailer, San Simeon Sentinel Gallery. That's a bit of a mouthful. Interactive Press Book, Advertising Gallery, and Behind the Scenes Gallery. Needless to say, I have not gone through all of the special features. I have watched all the individual featurettes for the 5 movies, though, and they're quite good. I mean, there's a lot of good information in there. The thing that makes Planet of the Apes really notable in sort of the world of science fiction, and it was one of the first really big, really the first proper science fiction movie franchise. I mean, this predates Star Wars by a good 10 years, and it was the first one really to be done as a proper continuing saga, you know. I mean, sure, you'd had the movie serials back in the days, but that's not really the same kind of thing. That's sort of its own subgenre. This was like the first sort of, you know, serious sci-fi saga for film, and the first one really to be done as a full-blown franchise. Because I mean, after the movies, they did a live-action TV series, which is available on DVD. It is not included in the set. This is just the movies. And there's also the animated series, which is also available on DVD and not included in the set. So, yeah, it was huge. I mean, there was action figures and comic books and novels and all kinds of stuff. I mean, it was sort of like the Star Wars of its day. Obviously, not on the same merchandising scale as Star Wars, but the same kind of principle in that it was done as a cross media marketing franchise. So pretty cool stuff. Not to mention the fact it's incredibly entertaining. So Planet of the Apes, the 40-year Evolution Blu-ray set. If you're a fan of the franchise, you owe it to yourself to get it, because there's just a wealth of material in there. Picture and sound quality is great, and it's just a great set. It's just a great set. It's beautiful. Alright, I'm done. Well, that's it from me to you for now, so until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara. Greetings, everyone. Well, thought it was about time I did something. You know,